Snuggled under graceful oak trees, Pat and David Mazurski's courtyard garden revels in sun-dappled serenity. They opted to build a compact house after leaving the family-sized home and land where they raised their sons. Less maintenance and more travel topped their current agenda. But there's plenty of room to cook and entertain. That's important to Pat, who wrote the popular San Antonio News-Express column Chef's Secrets for 22 years. To match the resourceful new house, they found Austin garden designer Mark Word to render a stylish, low-care, water-thrifty composition outside.
We had stayed up in Austin at St. Cecilia and San Jose, and I loved the landscaping. And so I asked my son Joel, who did this, do you know? And he said, yeah, my friend Mark Word. And so I said, well, I need to meet Mark. That's all there is to it. He and his crew came down here and did it all, did the hardscape, the landscape. I wanted something that was not going to need a lot of care. We do travel, and I didn't want to be worrying every week that, I had to be out there doing such and such.
For dimension and purpose, Mark tailored a series of Lueders pavers, tucked in with river rocks to capture rainwater. Steel planters promote visual depth and also nurture plants that prefer deep, rich soil. Their new style lawn is low-care Berkeley sedge, offset by multiple textures and foliar color.
It's just so peaceful and zen-like. I just love that, I really do.
It works quite well for their King Charles Cavalier Spaniels.
Even Mark said to me, what about your dogs? Don't you want just a little strip of grass? And I said, they'll handle it. And they have. I mean, it's just not a problem. They never complained.
This grow-and-go garden doesn't need a lot of tending. For seasonal maintenance, Pat relies on San Antonio's Billy Long. Viburnums and other shrubby enclosures cloak the courtyard's multicolored and naturalistic stone walls.
Part of the reason for the wall was we were so used to privacy and quiet. I just needed that sort of peaceful, I'm not on display kind of feeling. We drove around and saw a lot of different walls, before we chose something. This was really more, I would say, on the order of the stone walls in Europe, that when you drive around in the countryside and, they're just kind of whatever they had in the field, they stacked up kind of thing. And it had more of that sort of organic feel.
When Pat found a horsehead sculpture at a local gallery, she knew it was the perfect finishing touch. Her adopted jackrabbit guards the door. From the living room's spacious windows, the garden's always on view, broadening the small home's spatial sensation.
I grew up in Canada where you didn't necessarily want to look at the snow, but this you want to look at, it was sort of evergreen largely. Even on a gray day like this, it just still is part of where you are. And if it's really, really hot out and you don't want to be out there, it's still part of your day.
Informal stepping stones lead to the diminutive backyard. Frame borders deepen its scope. Evergreen star jasmine forms one frame, multitasking as a screen for utilities. Mark designed a patio fitted with benches, including a heavyweight teak lounge that Pat and son Joel lugged into.
I just wanted it to be part of the whole landscape. I sit there reading and the dogs climb all over me and they just love it and I'm not worried about their climbing. Of course, we had to bring our buffalo.
Pat and David discovered it roaming an Austin art show.
We absolutely fell in love with it, but my husband wanted it and I said, no, absolutely not. And then I had it brought in for his birthday and he was pretty excited. Bisons were the football team of the University of Manitoba where we went. He just kind of blends in too somehow, even though it's probably not his natural habitat.
Fortunately, the bison doesn't chomp Pat's herb garden, an essential for any cook. Again, Mark Word knew the secret to good taste, good soil.
I don't have that green of thumb, honest to goodness, but when I tried to do herb gardens in my old house, they were okay, something. Here, it was just wonderful. And I know it's how he prepared the soil. That is the key. If you don't have the soil, you can knock yourself out and it's not gonna produce. It really isn't.
The split-level design magnifies space, leading to the outdoor kitchen and dining room.
Because I do entertain a fair amount, and so that just lends itself to that. You know, if some people can go sit and talk over there and they're not part of the people are still eating over here. It flows, it does flow, it really does. And the entertaining is important to us. That's who we are at this point in our lives. When you build a house at this stage of the game, you kind of know what's important to you.
In Houston, Joel found the perfect outdoor dining table.
It's a zinc top table, and I've always loved zinc.
At the same place, Joel spotted a lighting fixture to match the style.
Not everyone loves it. It's a little bit of a challenge for some people, but it just was right.
Pat's at-home secret, creating harmony on your plate and where it's set.
I come home and it's just a haven, it really is.